Welcome to the latest episode of the UFO Show. In this installment, we get closer than ever to untangling the mystery of Mars as we look forward and backward in time on the Red Planet. One large step for the research for life on other planets has recently been accomplished. On February 18th, 2021, NASA landed its latest rover on Mars, named Perseverance. The space traveler's main mission is one that should excite lovers of all things space, science, and everything beyond our wildest imaginations. It's looking for evidence of ancient alien life. Perseverance was launched on July 30th, 2020, so it took a little less than 7 months for it to travel the nearly 300 million miles to reach its touchdown point. Perseverance is the 5th rover in history to roam the Red Planet. It's about 10 feet long and 9 feet wide, roughly the size of a car, although at 2,260 pounds, it's lighter than a compact car. As NASA tells it, the rover is almost like a living creature. It has a body, neck, head, eyes, ears, arms, and hands. No legs, but wheels get it around pretty well. Even brains if you accept its computer processors as its mind. It also has the ability to record sound, providing us with the latest audio ever from the surface of Mars. Perhaps the coolest feature of Perseverance is the fellow traveler that tagged along for the ride. Ingenuity is the name of a helicopter that will be testing out powered flight on another world for the first time. Once NASA finds a suitable helipad location, the rover will release Ingenuity to perform a series of test flights over a 30 Martian day experimental window. First, they'll test the helicopter, allowing it to fly a few feet from the ground, hover in the air for about 20 to 30 seconds, and land. According to NASA, this event will be a major milestone, the very first powered flight in the extremely thin atmosphere of Mars. After that, the team will attempt additional experimental flights in incrementally further distances and greater altitudes. It will be major news if this works, and it allows us to think of the extraordinary possibilities. If you can, just picture full-size helicopters, complete with human pilots, flying around Mars in maybe a couple of dozen years or so. We can dream. The rover landed in the Jezero crater, which was chosen as the landing site after 5 years of thorough research. The crater is 28 miles, or 45 kilometers, wide and lies just north of the Martian equator. The reason for the site was rather simple. NASA believes the crater used to be home to a lake. Not recently, mind you, but about 3.5 billion years ago. And because there was likely water there were probably living organisms there too. One of Perseverance's main goals is to search for signs of microbial life in that crater. And the rover will be gathering rocks and soil for scientists to study. Although that won't happen until other vehicles are sent to the planet. Grab up the samples and then return to Earth with the Martian soil. Looking even more forward, NASA considers the Jezero crater a top contender for a habitable environment sometime in the future, though obviously we might be a long ways away from that point. Although, if you trust Elon Musk, he predicts we'll be landing human beings on the Red Planet somewhere around 2026. You can keep tabs on Perseverance's adventures on Mars via mars.nasa.gov. Let's hope the little guy beams back some thrilling new looks at our favorite neighboring planet. Now, while finding signs of microbial life on Mars would be pretty amazing, there's probably a good amount of people who are hoping the rover finds evidence of, let's say, more exotic variety. We want to see the remnants of honest-to-goodness alien beings, and if we're to believe an experiment conducted by the CIA in the 80s, the Perseverance might be finding more than just microbes. A truly fascinating document from the CIA that was recently revived suggests that the organization used astral projection to explore the Red Planet, finding evidence of a race of beings and their living quarters. Sound too good to be true? Perhaps. But it could be the most incredible story we've covered yet. The time is May 22nd, 1984. An unnamed subject is being interviewed by an unnamed employee of the CIA. We'll call him the agent to make things easier. The agent hands the subject an envelope that has a 3x5 card in it with the following text: the planet Mars, time of interest approximately 1 million years BC. The subject was not to open the envelope until after the interview. Evidently, the subject did not know he was there to discuss Mars. He's given some coordinates and begins describing what he sees. It becomes apparent this subject is taking part in some kind of experiment involving either astral projection or a similar type of psychic phenomena. The subject goes on to describe seeing some interesting things: a yellowish pyramid in a large, depressed area. He sees massive dust storms and what appears to be, quote, the after effect of a severe geological problem. The subject is to, quote, go back to the time before the geological problem. which prompts the subject to describe seeing, quote, very large people who are, quote, thin and tall and wearing some kind of, quote, strange clothes. The subject is given different coordinates and finds himself in a large canyon, standing next to a wall that seems to climb upward forever. He starts seeing large structures and something that reminds him of the Washington Monument, what he describes as an obelisk. Now is a good place to pause really quickly and remind you that, yes, this is all real. At least, this conversation between the agent and the subject really happened. The entire document can be found on the CIA's official website under the heading Mars Exploration, May 22, 1984. Soon after, the man finds himself in what he calls a large basin and describes seeing very large, ragged mountains. He comments that everything is very big. He also sees the sun, saying, quote, the sun is weird. He sees large pyramids that he believes are, quote, shelters from the storms. At this point, the agent says, apparently to someone else near him, that he thinks the subject is, quote, losing his ability to move accurately, and suggests that they just let him move toward the things that interest him rather than follow the coordinates that they are feeding him. The subject is instructed to enter one of the structures and explore. He soon describes chambers he thinks are strictly places for sleeping or hibernating during the savage storms outside. The agent wants to know about, quote, the ones who sleep through the storms, and the subject again describes them as very tall and large beings who dress in fabric that's like a, quote, light silk designed to fit their bodies. He says these ancient, quote, people are dying, quote, it's past their time or age. After being prompted, the subject apparently has a discussion with one of these Martians, commenting that they're very philosophical about trying to find a way to survive. A group of them journeyed out somewhere to find a new place to live because their planet is becoming uninhabitable, and the beings left behind are waiting for their return. The subject is asked if he can help the being, but the being says there's nothing to do but wait. The subject also mentions he thinks he, the subject, is a hallucination. Finally, the subject is asked to find out where the ones who journeyed off went to. The subject sees a, quote, really crazy place with volcanoes and gas pockets and strange plants, a volatile place that has vegetation, whereas the previous environment, Mars, did not. At that point, the interview ends. The subject is coaxed back to May 22nd, 1984. Talk about an eye-opener. Now, obviously, we can't say whether or not this interview subject, whoever he may have been, was genuinely going back in time to Mars in his mind's eye, or if he was just winging it. As noted earlier, he apparently did not know about the contents of that envelope. The note that said the planet Mars 1 million years BC. What we do know is that, according to the CIA, this conversation actually occurred on May 22nd, 1984, and the transcription of it was approved for release on August 8th, 2000. With the renewed interest of life on Mars, it's been revived and dissected by truth seekers everywhere. It's no secret the CIA was long interested in all kinds of psychic phenomenon in the 70s and 80s, so it's not hard to believe this experiment actually went down. What do you think? Is there something to this mysterious interview? Are there others like it? What else has the CIA seen via astral projection? And will the Mars rover find anything that resembles what our time-traveling interview subject saw? And that's it for now, folks. The truth is out there, somewhere, and we're going to be keeping an eye on things for all you true believers. And if you have anything to share with us, don't hesitate to send us an email at ufoshow@joeblow.com. We're eager to hear from all our fellow UFO and outer space enthusiasts. Also, please share your thoughts and any cool extraterrestrial news you have in the comments section. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as we're going to be your one-stop shop for all things alien going forward. Until next month, keep watching the skies. Thank you for watching our show. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our Paranormal Network channel, tell your friends who like this sort of content, and turn on the bell to receive notifications for all our latest videos. We're an independent company, and we appreciate all your support.